Hey guys, how's it going? This is your boy Peter Liu, and today we're reviewing the TWS T66-F, one of like the hottest wheels that I found. And if you're a really hardcore wheel enthusiast, you probably know about this, so we're gonna do a deep dive of it. So you might have heard of this wheel. It's been getting pretty popular. I'm a big follower of the 86 platform, and during the time, with the real wheels, I was looking at a lot of wheels that were coming out, and this one, the T66-F, is definitely one of the most well-known ones that are out. They use it for a lot of the 86 spec races. It's been used here. The TRD Griffin car also ran this wheel. So the top racing companies, top racing 86 guys, they're using this wheel. Started doing some more research, wondering what this is. I actually have this wheel here, not because we're a distributor or a supplier for TWS. My good friend Wilson, he brought this wheel in for his 86, so he brought it over for us to take a look at. And now we're just gonna do a little bit of a history on this wheel company. If you don't know anything about TWS, we're gonna do the backbones of that as well. So first thing I know about this wheel is it's a fully forged wheel. This company is made, it's called Tan-Ei-Sya Co. I'm probably not saying it properly, but they've been supplying blanks for Formula One since like 1993, and they only do forged wheels. And one of the things that's special about them is they forge not only aluminum, but they also forge magnesium. So a lot of the Formula One blanks for the last couple decades, that company was forging a lot of those blanks for those companies. Another company that's known for forging blanks for F1, is Rays, of course. Also Washi Beam, which we most commonly know as BBS Japan. TWS, they are one of the most renowned ones. In 2010, Tan-Ei-Sya Wheel Company, they decided that they were going to introduce like a consumer line of wheels, and that line of wheels, they call it TWS Forged. Every TWS Forged wheel is 100% forged in Japan. They control all the tooling, everything from materials, manufacturing, design, all in-house by this company. So you can trust that, it's made in Japan, really high quality. It's up there with the greats. So even though you never heard of the name, they've definitely been doing it for a long enough time that I think they deserve like a great reputation. So TWS Forged is a name that all their wheels since 2010 have been produced under. The name Tan-Ei-Sya Company, Tan-Ei-Sya actually means Japanese loosely, excellent forging. So you know that this company is all about the forging. Forging that they use is mold form or die cast forging, where the shape of the wheel is actually pressed in that aluminum or magnesium through several presses. So this company, they use either a 6,000 or 8,000 ton press. So really strong pressings to really get the wheel as strong as they can. So you might have known that the other wheels we're reviewing, they're made of 6061 aluminum. What's special about this exact one, the T66-F, is they use their own special blend of aluminum that they made, and that's called T66 aluminum. And that's where the name of this wheel actually comes from. The T66-F is named after the special aluminum they got just to make this wheel. So this wheel, not only is it specifically designed, specifically manufactured, but the materials of this wheel are specific just for it as well. I haven't thrown on the scale yet, but from what we've been reading online, what we've been seeing, it's one of the lightest, I think, consumer available wheels on the market. They're actually so confident in the weight of the wheel that if you go to their website, they published all the wheel weights across for all the widths, all the offsets. This wheel, they're so confident in it, they made in a multitude of sizes. So it gets anywhere from a 15-inch all the way up to a 19-inch. It's available from a 6.5 all the way up to a 12-inch wide. They made it for many specific applications, and along like one mix series, they also use this wheel to keep it consistent, because if you think about it, when you're doing a one mix series race, everybody needs to run the same equipment, but if you want to give everyone the best advantage, you got to run the best for everybody. You're not going to give everybody something unreliable, something that would cause issues throughout the season. So since this company was around since 2010 making their own consumer vehicles, they've been like, well, what were they doing before? Only doing Formula One or Rally? They were also doing like Super GT. They're also doing the Super Taiko Endurance series in Japan. I think is they also private label wheels. So what happens is they did a lot of forging for a lot of other companies. One company is like Autobahn Racing. They're not around anymore, but they're a famous Japanese wheel company. Tan-Ei-Sya was making those. Another one you might know is Pro Drive. Lots of Pro Drive wheels are actually forged by Tan-Ei-Sya as well. So Super Taiko, the spoon cars, some of those wheels, they were being forged by this company. Color variation wise, this wheel is available in 3 colors. The first one is gloss gold, second one is gloss silver, and the third one is gloss gunmetal. Along with the 3 standard colors, the one here, this is a limited edition. This is a gloss pearl gold, so it's a little bit of a paler gold. I don't know how well it's showing on the camera, but it's got this like kind of light pale gold. It looks really unique. You can tell they're not trying to fight the color of another, forged wheel company style, or they're trying to get something that's gonna be current. They kind of kept it really classy. It's got this light gold. I don't think they're doing them anymore. It's limited run, but I think this is a really cool color. They've also done another limited run. It was like a gloss gunmetal, but that one has been discontinued. And now we're just gonna dive into the deep features of the wheel, okay? So being a racing wheel, the first thing they did was they went with this 5-spoke split design, which edged out to a 10-spoke. So when you look here, first thing it's gonna do is it's gonna have this split spoke style You notice that a lot of high performance Super GT, GT3 cars like to use this style of wheel. Really adds a lot of strength, but also you're able to cut out a lot of weight. These like one big spoke splitting out to two, when they do this 5 times, give me a 10 spoke. If you look at the style of the wheel, one thing I like about it is it's very hard to make a 10 spoke wheel that looks really unique in today's market, but I think these guys, they really got it done. The first thing is you're gonna notice that the spokes, they get kind of narrow when you get to the end, but when you get to the end of here, it doesn't just end. There's also still this inner depth here. Second thing is, even though it's getting skinnier, they also have cutting on the flat here. So I notice a lot of the 10 spoke wheels, they don't kind of curve the edges here. And the craziest thing about this wheel, it's detailed to trying to cut as much weight off this wheel as possible. So right away, we're gonna start in the middle. You can see the lug nut holes, they're really flat down, so that lug's gonna stick out really far. On some wheels, if the lug nut is really recessed in, that means there's a lot of material on the outside of the lug that's raised. Here, you can almost see exactly where it seats. That's because there's almost no material on the hub. They shaved it down as much as they could. Another thing is these extra holes here. Those relief holes means that on the back here, there's actually no cutting behind these relief holes, so you can't really run spacers. You really need to get the wheel specific to the offset and size that you need, because there's not much room for a bolt to poke out underneath there, because they really want to make sure the weight of the wheel was cut in as much as possible. Additionally, they've also cut more weight out of here, which is really unique. I've never seen that before. This might be for easing of putting lug nuts on, but also it adds a lot more weight savings there as well. And inside here, you can see it's got a smaller center cap. So a smaller center cap, they can kind of cut more off the face. They can keep the strength on the hub, but then the center cap can also be smaller. I think is in our industry lately, there's been a lot of side spoke cutting. We have this side spoke cutting right at the crotch of the wheel. When you have the split spoke here, they choose to do the cutting where it's facing each other. So the spoke cutting is right here and they're facing each other. There's actually a little bit of extra additional cutting inside of here past the lip. So this one I've never actually really seen before. And having this here, that means that they just try to shave off as many grams as they could. Beside the face cutting features, of course they have their insignias. So this is a Motorsport, because this is a TWS Motorsport wheel. And here they all say TWS Forged. Here we have our JWL VIA certifications. But other than that, they've kept the wheel pretty clean. Looks really track centric, and I think it's got like a really specific 10 spoke design in that it doesn't look common to what's on the market, but it's a 10 spoke that's unique in their own make. So I'm gonna turn your attention to the side of the wheel, and the side of the wheel, what we're gonna see is these very thick flanges. Most of forged wheels, anything that's high performance, they have these very thick flanges on the outside, holds the tire really well against the inner bead, really gives the feedback to the driver for communication when the tire is trying to push against the edge, and also, you know, you're exerting a lot of heavy G's. So just as a motorsport centric wheel. What else they also have is inside of here, they have an inner flange. So these inner flanges hold the inside of the tire where the bead is, which keeps it really strong. Something really cool that TWS has done with this wheel is if you look at these two bands here, you'll see that they're a little bit off color probably in the camera. I've seen guys where they kind of have a knurling where it's just got strips. Here they don't have that knurling, but they've actually removed, it looks like, all the paint so that the tire can sit right against the metal and get the most grip as possible. Touching this is like they've machined it after the finish. It's not something they're trying to mold on and they painted on top that made it smooth. It's actually machined off to give it that additional grip. So now we're gonna turn into the back. The only thing I'm telling you, in the back here, there's not any area for them to machine back here to run spacers or save pockets of air. It's because the thickness of the hub here of the wheel is so thin, there's no space to put any other kind of cutting here, because on the other side of the back here, it's just got that little pocket I said it had cut out. Here you see there's kind of like a ring band here where it's mounted. That means that the lug nut isn't gonna push it and mount it directly against the hub there. It'll meet the hub in the middle here and it'll meet the hub on the edge here. So these guys, they don't really run a lot of hub rings, really like application focused, unless you get like a much larger size. But this, it mounts right in the middle where the center of strength is on the hub and also on the edge here. So it's a really different design than what I've seen in the other wheels that I've reviewed. Okay, so this is the real wheel deal. Next thing we gotta do, of course, we gotta weigh it off. All right, so I got a hard surface here and we got our scale zeroed out. So this wheel, 86 specific, 5x100. This is an 18 by 8.5 plus 45. So now we're gonna get on a scale. So before I put this on, just as a reference, an F4S is 17 inch by 7 wide, and it's a 24 pound wheel. And this is 18 by 8.5. So that's wider, more than an inch, and this is what diameter is bigger than an inch. Okay. So right now, when I put it on there, it says 16 pounds even. So you imagine at 16 pounds even if this wheel was an inch wider, 18 by 9.5, that definitely add less than a pound. So this guy being 16 pounds, we're looking at 16.5 to 17 pounds for an 18 by 9.5 wide, which is kind of the size you guys are used to me measuring on my channel. So this really is probably like one of the lightest consumer available wheels you can purchase. This is like on another level, fully forged, so ridiculously light, very hard to match. So if you're really like in the game of racing and you want something unique, but not only that, you're like no compromises, lightest wheel possible, this is the one. This is the lightest one that I've seen available that we've ever passed through here. All right, so that concludes my in-depth review of the Tan-Ei-Sya made TWS Forged T66-F wheel, made in Japan, forged in Japan, special aluminum, special design, lightest wheel I've ever weighed off in its size in the shop here. So you guys enjoyed the video, hit subscribe, comment below, let me know what you think about this wheel. Unfortunately, like I said, we're not a TWS dealer. Big shout out to my friend Wilson for bringing it over just so we could take a look about it, learn a little bit about the company. But hopefully you guys learned a lot. It's really nice to see this wheel in person. I've never seen one in person before. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as me. Thanks.